안녕하세요. 글로벌 스타트업 페스티벌 컴업 2021. 네, 여러분 저는 진행을 맡은 아나운서 고아침입니다. 반갑습니다. 네, 어제에 이어서 오늘 두 번째로 인사를 드리게 됐습니다. 컴업 2021은 스타트업의 투자 유치와 글로벌 진출을 지원하고 또 국내외 창업 생태계 간의 소통과 교류를 이끄는 글로벌 스타트업 행사인데요. 지금부터 제가 진행하는 두 가지 프로그램이 이 컴업 2021의 핵심적인 프로그램들입니다. 바로 국내외 혁신 스타트업 72개사를 만나보실 수 있는 컴업 스타즈의 공개 IR 스타트업 쇼케이스고요. 바로 이어서 글로벌 대기업 관계자와 스타트업 간의 성장 협업 모델을 발굴하는 컴업 위드 오픈 이노베이션이 지금부터 진행되도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 현장에 정말 많은 분들이 와주셨는데요. 혹시나 현장에 오지 못하셨더라도 저희 유튜브 채널에서 생중계되는 거 알고 계시죠? 네, 유튜브에서 컴업 2021 검색하셔서 저희 공식 채널로 오셔서 함께 하시면 좋겠습니다. 오늘 행사 내일까지 다채롭게 진행이 되겠습니다. 자, 이제 본격적으로 스타트업 쇼케이스를 시작해 보겠습니다. 컴업 스타즈는 전 세계 37개국에서 783개의 스타트업과 경쟁해서 높은 경쟁률을 뚫고 선발된 차세대 유니콘 기업들인데요. 오늘 이 자리에서 직접 심사위원 분들에게 서비스를 소개하고 투자 유치를 받을 수 있는 기회를 가지게 됐습니다. 이곳 알림 1관에서는 차세대 유니콘으로 성장한 로켓 기업들이 발표를 진행하고요. 알림 2관에서는 잠재력과 성장 가능성이 엄청난 루키 기업의 발표가 진행되니까요. 저희 공식 홈페이지 들어가셔서 일정 한번 확인해 보시고 참여하시면 되겠습니다. 글로벌 쇼케이스이니만큼 오늘 1부는 굉장히 특별하게 진행이 됩니다. 바로 온라인 발표 기업과 영어 발표 기업이 참가하기 때문인데요. 첫 번째, 두 번째 발표를 맡은 엠룩과 솔트팀, 이 두 개의 기업은 온라인 발표로 만나보실 수가 있고요. 그 다음에 나머지 4개의 기업, 코클리어.ai, 고피자, 모픽, 니어스랩의 기업은 현장에서 영어로 발표를 진행하게 됩니다. 네, 이번 세션은 전체 영문으로 진행되기 때문에 통역이 필요하신 지금 현장 참가자 분들께서는 객석 우측 데스크에서 리시버를 수령해서 착용해 주시면 되겠습니다. 네, 이제 본격적인 시작에 앞서서 심사위원 분들을 소개해 드리겠습니다. 특별하게 또 해외에서 온라인으로 접속을 해주신다고 해요. 오늘 함께 하실 분들 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 파테크 벤처스의 제이체 파트너님, 노던라이트 벤처 캐피탈의 제프리리 디렉터님, 굿워터 캐피탈의 에릭킴 파트너님을 모시겠습니다. Thank you for participating as our guest today. We look forward to your fair and thorough evaluations. 네, 이제 본격적으로 스타트업 쇼케이스 시작해 보겠습니다. 발표 시간은 저희가 5분으로 제한을 했고요. 5분이 지날 경우에 발표는 중지해 주셔야 되고 바로 질의응답이 진행되겠습니다. 자, 많이 긴장을 하고 계실 것 같은 첫 번째 기업부터 소개를 해드리겠습니다. 목적지와 가까운 장소에서 개인화 맞춤 쇼핑 경로를 지원하는 기업 엔룻이 준비하고 있습니다. 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다.
There it goes.
I will reshare it. Great. So thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here live from Tel Aviv. I'm Aviv Frenkel, the co-founder and CEO of En route. And let's start by embarking on a journey to the future. It's the year 2030. You get into the car, you say the address, and the car starts driving by itself. And for the next 20, 30, 40 minutes, people will be captive audience in mobility because the self-driving car revolution, if it will happen, there's a big if, will create a new currency. And this currency is free time. According to Morgan Stanley, this time stands for 600 billion hours, free for people to do lots of things. But we argue that already today, millions of people are using self-driving cars that look like this. Because when you take a train, a bus, a taxi, an Uber, you are already in a self-driving car with a driver. You have free time, you're sort of a captive audience. And one of the things people do when they have free time in mobility is very interesting. They shop. So apparently in the UK, 20% of all online shopping occurs every morning between 7 and 9 a.m. That's more than $28 billion each year, only in the UK, only between 7 and 9 a.m., only in mobility. The numbers are mind-blowing. And the problem for mobility companies, I mean, technological mobility companies like Uber or Lyft, or more traditional mobility services like mass transit operators, is that they allow people for free time, but somebody else makes money on this free time, so they're missing on this huge e-commerce opportunity, and that's where we come in. So Enroute has developed a personalized and location-based commerce and loyalty platform. We're not an app, we are an add-on, an SDK, which is installed into existing mobility or payment apps to give users the best offers during what we call their Enroute time. Once we're installed into a mobility app, first of all, we understand what is the context of the ride. Where do people travel? When do they travel? With whom? And on the other hand, we're studying people over time to give them more than getting them from point A to point B. And if we have this equation and we add businesses that really want to interact with people in this golden time of mobility, we can do something a bit crazy, and that is allowing people to ride for free. So how do they ride for free? Well, it's like a game. The ride starts, and through the app you're using to order the ride or pay for the ride, you get a message, hey Jane, you have 20 minutes until you arrive at your destination. Why don't you use your free time, buy stuff from your favorite retailers, and with every product you buy, you decrease the amount you have to pay on your next ride until you get a free ride, because the retailers are paying for the ride. So it sounds very simple, but there's lots of heavy lifting in terms of technology, product, and business to make this experience as seamless as possible and as personalized as possible. We've developed an engine that segmentizes hundreds of shops, millions of products, clusterizes the users, and connects everything to the context of the ride, because this is where it gets really interesting. So if you see this video, you see this nice gentleman who's traveling back home, and he wants to buy a cake for his kids on his way back home. So we're building our product to be able to tap into inventory systems in locations along the route or next to the destination for this gentleman to click and collect. And this is an even more sustainable way to shop, because when you click and collect, you don't need the delivery and you rarely return whatever you buy. This is our architecture. This is how it looks like. On one hand, we're connected to hundreds of retailers who get access to their catalogs, the data, and we're personalizing the shopping feed within the mobility app we're integrated into. We're working with all the big names. So the way it works is you buy a pair of Nike shoes, you pay, let's say, $100. We get a percentage of that, let's say $8, and most of it goes back to the mobility company as pending credits for the users to pay for the next ride. In regards to the traction, we are working today in Germany with the National Rail Company of Germany, launched recently in Singapore and also in Madrid. We will be launching soon in Israel and elsewhere in Europe and Asia. We won a lot of prizes and also the Horizon 2020 grant. And I'll show you a short video, what do the mobility company that we work with have to say about us.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Andreas Handbrecht,
Hello, I'm Leon Daniels, and I used to run the transport in London.
Head of Business Development, IT, and the CIO for DB Regio.
We have chosen Enroute, which is an Israeli company, and we are very proud.
Working with Enroute was very successful, and we got very interesting and positive customer feedback.
Enroute introduces a whole new revenue stream, giving transit customers free travel.
I think it's the best opportunity to transmit for all the people that we are a big company.
I was asking myself, is that possible to put that great idea into action? If we could offer to our customers, and that is 7 million people a day, ride and commute for free, and Enroute is showing us how this idea can be put into action.
Metro Madrid choose a startup like Enroute because it's a good combination. I'm sure this is the beginning of an important collaboration.
I'm sure that Enroute is going to do big things in Spain with us.
The passengers love it, the operators love it, and it's a win-win-win for everyone.
So to sum it all up, what's in it for our mobility partners? First of all, it's a new revenue stream. Especially now when ridership is down and revenues are down, it's a way for them to diversify their business model. We can help them create a stickiness effect to their service to enhance growth through loyalty. We do that with a new experience for users. We can also help them know passengers better through valuable data, and that's another revenue model that we have. And as Leon said in the video, everybody wins. So join the ride because we are already en route.
네, 여기까지 발표 들어보겠습니다. 감사합니다. 제가 제 이해를 잘 했는지 모르겠는데요. 최근에 우리나라에서도 유사한 서비스가 생겨난 것
Thank you very
같은데
much.
조금 더
I
업그레이드된
think
버전인 것
we
같아요.
have
네,
a
그럼
similar
지금부터
service
Q&A
here in
세션
Korea as
진행하겠습니다.
well, and
Now
we
let's do the Q&A
we
with
will have a
judges.
Q&A
네, 먼저
session with our
제이치님
juries.
그리고
First
제프리님,
Jay
에릭님
Choi,
순서로 하나씩
and
질문해
followed
주시면
by
되겠습니다. First, Jay Choi,
Jeffrey
could you
and
give us
then
a comment?
Eric.
Sure. Thanks for the presentation, Aviv. I guess I have one simple question. So, what incentivizes consumers to use en route versus just going on the internet and just going and shopping for various items while they're at idle time right now?
Yeah, so basically, we are an add-on to existing mobility apps. It's another form of passing time when you're in mobility. And there are two main things. First of all is getting free rides, okay? You're shopping, you get the best deals, and on top of that, you get credits towards your next ride. And the second thing is what we're building now is the location-based services. So the ability to know what kind of services or shops are next to your destination. Let's say you want to order a cup of coffee in a Starbucks, which is next to your destination, or you forgot the charger and there's an electronics shop. So the convenience of click and collect.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeffrey, please could you give us a comment?
Sure. Hey, Aviv, thanks a lot for your time. That's a great presentation. I want to know, since this conference is happening in Korea, in South Korea, what interests you for en route with the Korean market or Korean opportunity?
So first of all, in major cities like Seoul, a lot of people, most of the people are using mobility services. And the Korean market is very interesting for us, either penetrating through mass transit or taxi or ride-hailing services in Korea. And also Koreans are very tech-savvy and they're happy to use new services. So that's part of the reason why I'm here on this call this morning.
Eric, please.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Aviv, for the presentation. I like how you're using idle time for consumers, and I think there's going to be a lot of value that you unlock there. And I like how you're going to help consumers take down their costs of transportation. I was curious if you've also thought about digital advertising to do during that time as well. So even if they don't transact, can you create essentially like an ad network to plug into your system as well while you have people's attention anyways?
Yeah, so that's another option that we have. We're thinking of product placement as another way to earn revenues for the company and give something back to the passengers. So retailers can pay extra to be higher in the shopping feed and interact with users in that way. And we're thinking of something even bigger, which is connecting people to services. Let's say you want to close a deal with insurance. So the capability to talk with the insurance agent at the time that you're in mobility, save time and, checklist with things that you need to do anyhow.
Okay, time is over. Thank you for attending this showcase. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this opportunity and have a great day.
네, 첫 번째 팀 만나봤습니다. 반대편 이스라엘에 살고 계신데도 우리 한국과 굉장히 상황이 비슷한 것 같아요. 네, 이제 다음 세션 소개해드리겠습니다. 두 번째는 자가 치료가 가능한 과민성 방광 치료기기 개발 기업 솔스팀이 준비하고 있습니다. 네, 어떤 기술일지 굉장히 기대가 돼요. 저희가 스타트업 쇼케이스의 이 프레젠테이션을 듣게 되면 10년 뒤에 몇 년 뒤에 먼 미래를 좀 내다볼 수 있는 것 같아서 저도 공부하는 마음으로 좀 함께 하고 있거든요. 마찬가지로 실제로 화상으로 지금 준비를 하고 계시다고 합니다. 약간의 저희가 테스트할 시간이 좀 필요할 것 같아요. 네, 생중계로 지금 만나보고 계신 겁니다. 자, 솔스팀 안녕하세요. Please begin when you're start.
Great, thank you. And thanks for having me here. Sorry for the early start before. I thought it was my turn, but it actually wasn't. I wish I could be there in person, but I actually have a cold, so it prevented me from traveling. My name's Dr. Dan Burnett, and I'm the CEO of SoulStim. At SoulStim, we're targeting a very big problem of overactive bladder. 33 million Americans suffer from OAB. 1 in 3 women suffer from OAB as they get older, and 1 in 5 Asian women suffer from OAB by the age of 40. So the Asian market is one of great interest to us. In the US, it's a $66 billion annual economic burden, and $4.2 billion are spent annually on treatments directly. The treatments, first line, are medications, but 80% of patients discontinue drugs due to the side effects, despite the symptom relief if they have any. The negative side effects are pretty extreme, include dry mouth, which causes them to drink more because of their dry mouth, which causes them to have urinary incontinence and have accidents. There's also Botox injections, which are quite costly, need to be done every 3 to 12 months and have a risk of urinary tract infections and urinary retention with bladder paralysis. In order to have a better option, Medtronic came up with the sacral nerve stimulator. It's an implant that stimulates the sacral nerve at the pelvis and has generated a 90% plus satisfaction with patients and a dramatic reduction in these symptoms. In order to make something less invasive, Dr. Marshall Stoller invented something called Electro Acupuncture. And that's a needle that's inserted at the ankle and stimulates the same nerve, but farther down the nerve, posterior tibial nerve stimulation it's called. Following the success of both of these technologies, a slew of other technologies have popped up, including stimulating the saphenous nerve and many on the posterior tibial nerve and the tibial nerve itself. All of these are targeting stimulation of this nerve to achieve the relief from overactive bladder. What we do at SoulStim is we stimulate the same nerve at the very farthest end of the nerve on the bottom of the foot. We have a waveform generator and a monitor and a treatment app to monitor and track treatments, as well as an app to encourage patients to use the device. We've had a pilot trial at Stanford. 9 out of 10 OAB patients reported a clinically meaningful improvement in quality of life, an average improvement of 20% in their quality of life, and 100% compliance with the SoulStim device. You can see these patients also on the graph on the right had a reduction in the number of voids, the amount of urgency, and urge urinary incontinence, meaning they had less accidents where they wet their pants. We met with the FDA, and we have agreed upon our pathway there. It's going to be a 510K, and they agreed on our pivotal study, which we've embarked on now. We also met with the Center for Medicaid Services and have a proposed reimbursement for remote therapeutic monitoring starting in 2022. The device and physician will both be paid about $50 each 30 days under these 2 different codes. We've started this pivotal study that we talked to the FDA about and have IRB approval as of last May. Contracts are now completed with Stanford, Cleveland Clinic, and Atrium Health, and our clinical builds are complete as well. We're currently enrolling at Stanford and expect to add Cleveland Clinic and Atrium Health soon and have our first 5 patients in our study. For the competitive landscape, in terms of low cost and high efficacy, you'll see that SoulStim is in the upper right quadrant. The only one close to us is Zeta, and Zeta Medical makes a sock that stimulates the bottom of the foot, and they are definitively violating some of our intellectual property and our patents. So we expect to be able to, at the right time, prevent them from practicing their current design. As I mentioned, we do have broad patent coverage dating back to 2007. The bulk of the patents are from 2010, including PCTs that have been filed internationally in Japan and Korea. And our business model is the physician urologist writes the prescription to the device. The patient acquires the waveform generator from the pharmacy and website with a valid prescription for $100, and that comes to SoulStim. The patient registers the device with a treatment app and enters billing information, and then pays $50 per month for the pads that allow them to treat the bottom of their foot and achieve the neuromodulation benefit. We will not charge for the app, so the total will be $150 for the first month and $50 a month thereafter. Potential exits and acquirers, as you can see, Cogentix is the maker of Urgent PC. They were sold to Laborie for $239 million. Euro Solutions is the neuro device. It's undisclosed, but our contacts have told us they were bought after a Series A for $40+ million. Nine Continents was bought for $145 million after first human, and Contura and Emthera both were bought for over $200 million. We are currently embarking on our pivotal study. As I mentioned, we expect to be done with it about a year from now, and to file our 510K at the same time and prepare for US launch in Q2 of 2023. We've spoken with Korean partners through this COMEUP conference and expect Korean market entry would be 2 quarters behind, as the Korean regulatory agencies would want to see data on more Koreans or Asians prior to approval. This is the team. It's myself. I'm a biomedical engineer, medical doctor.
Okay, time is over. Please stop your presentation in 10 seconds, please.
Okay. So really quickly, $1.7 million in government funding, $200,000 in non-dilutive funding from MedTechX, and we're raising $2 million. And here's our summary slide.
Okay, now let's do the Q&A with judges. Choi first, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I have a question on the steps required to get to FDA approval. And then once that happens, the go-to-market plan you have in mind.
Great. Yeah, so the steps are here. So we've already met with the FDA in a pre-sub meeting request, and we've agreed upon what the trial should look like and what the trial needs to show in order for us to get 510K clearance. We've designed our study to do exactly what we agreed upon with the FDA in our meeting last October, and we've started that study now. Assuming that study is successful and shows an improvement in quality of life and reduction in incontinence in these women, then we will be teed up for a 510K clearance with our submission around this time next year. And what was the second part of that question? Oh, go-to-market. Yeah, and our go-to-market will be targeting physicians prescribing for these desperate patients. And we will sell our device, the generator, to them directly for $100, for which we expect some payers will reimburse if they're already reimbursing for Urgent PC. And then we will sell the treatment pads for $50 a month. Our COGS, even in low volumes right now, because of our partnership with the Chinese group, is around $48 per generator. So we're already very profitable.
네, 다음은 제프리 린님께 부탁을 드리겠습니다.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Dan. Thanks a lot for your presentation. I guess my question is pitching here at our conference here and talking to those of us who are investing with a connection to Korea. What are you hoping to get from an investment that is related to someone who is focused on or knows a lot about the Korean market?
Yeah, thanks. Actually, we already had a couple meetings. One was of Daewoo Pharmaceuticals, and that was because we know that overactive bladder is a very big problem in Korea. My mother-in-law is Korean, and she has overactive bladder, and she was one of our first patients. Anecdotally, it had a very big impact on her. It's reduced her urinary incontinence. So we are hoping to show more of that there in Korea in a bigger way, and hoping to find partners there that would see the potential market there and help us to help these patients.
네, 마지막은 에릭킴님께 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
Yeah, and thanks for your passion for helping people with this pretty serious problem. And just curious about your go-to-market plan. So the direct-to-consumer opportunity that you articulated, what do you think will be your primary channel to find patients and customers?
Yeah, this is a pretty desperate patient population, and they have quite a few blogs and support groups where they discuss things like this. The goal will be to take these patients and have them flow to our website, and the thought is we will have a hims or hers type model where we actually have a physician tied to our website that is tied to our company, independent, but is tied to our company, and they will visit with that physician to get that prescription if they meet the criteria. And from there, we will fill it directly with $100 for the, like I mentioned, $100 for the stimulator and $50 a month for the pads.
네,
Thanks.
답변 감사합니다. 네, 그럼 여기까지 인사를 드리도록 하겠습니다. Thank you for your great presentation. 네, 고맙습니다. 네, 자가 치료가 가능해진다면 이동의 어려움을 겪는 환자들에게 정말 유용할 것 같습니다. 정말 큰 박수를 좀 보내드리고 싶어요. 정말 존경합니다. 네, 이제 다음 기업부터는 현장에서 영어로 발표가 진행되겠습니다. 현장에 올라오시는 것만큼 많이 긴장이 되실 것 같아요. 앞에 관람객분들이 큰 박수로 응원을 보내주시면 좋겠습니다. 다음 팀은요, 사람들이 살아가면서 정말 많은 소리를 듣고 이용을 하곤 하는데요. 주변에서 들리는 다양한 소리들을 이해할 수 있는 사운드, AI 기술을 만드는 기업 코클리어.ai가 준비를 하고 있습니다. 사운드를 어떻게 AI 기술로 변환하는지 지금은 너무 궁금하고 잘 상상이 안 되거든요. 아마 영상으로 조금 만나보시면서 이제 본격적으로 시작이 되면 이해를 좀 하시게 될 것 같아요. 저희 동일하게 현장에서도 발표 진행하고 5분 동안 진행을 하고 그 다음에 5분 동안 심사위원분들과 함께 Q&A 세션 진행하고요. 그 다음에 이어서 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 이제 큰 박수로 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 코클리어.ai입니다. 네, 안녕.
네, 발표 시작하겠습니다.
I will begin my
We are
presentation.
all surrounded by millions of different sounds that contains important clues about surroundings. For example, when you listen to the raining sound, you may think of taking an umbrella or closing the window. And also, you know, fire truck is approaching by listening to its siren sound. And this is the core question that triggered our innovation. How great would it be if AI can understand sounds other than speech? Coco is a research-based deep tech company focusing on sound AI technology. We create ears for artificial intelligence. These days, smart devices are getting even smarter with AI technologies. With the power of advanced machine learning technology, now computers start to see things and understand what people talk to them. However, most of current AI systems cannot really understand other sounds than voice command, or only have simple video analysis functionalities. Coco's Sound AI system translates audio into meaningful information. Currently, it can understand more than 30 different sounds and continuously evolving every day. Users also can add easily their own custom sounds as well. We made complicated technology easy to use. You don't have to hire expensive R&D resources to add sound understanding functionality on your products and services. Just use simple off-the-shelf solution from us, leaving all the difficult engineering tasks behind. For example, for the security and smart home environment, our technology can be used for detection of screaming sound, fire smoke alarm, glass breaking, or even dog barking sound as well. For automotive environment, it allows car to understand emergency vehicles siren sounds, or car horn sounds, or car window brake, or malfunction of engine sound too. It can be even used for searching the video with audio queries and also analyzing the music too. We work with leading companies in various industries, providing a unique value on their products and services. The company was founded in 2017, and we are backed by VCs and raised $2.5 million so far. Operating in a real-time, in a real-world environment, Cocoa Sense is the only and first available general-purpose audio cognition API to date. And it is even available as a cloud API and Edge SDK, which means that it can be deployed literally anywhere. This field is rapidly evolving, and we are still far ahead of other IT giants in terms of both accuracy and number of supported sounds. The system was designed and created by the winner of IEEE DCase Challenge as well as Kaggle, the largest sound AI challenge in this field. Also, we've been identified as a top 4 AI startup in autonomous systems by NVIDIA Inception. The company was founded by PhDs from Seoul National University, and our technology is protected by international patents. With our technology, all the sounds will be heard in a meaningful ways, and it will make this world a lot more efficient, safer, and smarter. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 와, 국제 특허까지
Thank you very
받으셨군요.
much. I
정말
was
대단한
very
기술이에요. 심사위원분들께서는
wow
또 어떤
to
의견을
hear
가지고 계신지
that you also have
궁금하거든요.
global
먼저
patents.
제이체님께
First of
질문
all, Jay Choi,
부탁드리겠습니다.
can you raise your question?
Please start, JJ.
Hi, thank you. I do have an interesting question. I have a question around just how the system and the core technology works in terms of how do you train the system with a set of data, and is it fairly broad in terms of the number of sounds, or do you have to go very specific on the types of sounds to get the system to be highly accurate?
Yeah, I think it's a really important question, and we're trying to make really generalized solution for many different kinds of sound. And so we're training our model, the sound AI model, from the really various kind of sources. So internally, we have about like 300 different sound classes. And of course, we still have to focus on some industry. So that's why these days we focus more on like emergency-related sounds or some more automotive-related sounds. And we are still increasing the number of target sounds, but our company's vision is keep continuously like increasing the number of target sounds. And why we are doing this is because it's the only way that can really reduce the false alarm. That is really most important issue in this technology. Yes, I hope it helps.
네, 감사합니다. 다음 제프리 린님의 질문을 부탁드리겠습니다.
Next, Jeffrey Lin.
감사합니다. 안녕하세요. It was really impressive. My question to you is regarding, have you guys thought about a consumer path to create a total consumer product to launch to consumers instead of going to partners? And if so, or can you tell us a little bit more about your thoughts on that?
Yes, of course. Actually, this topic is, I've been talking about this topic a lot with our co-founders, really a lot. And of course, we don't have enough resources yet, but now, so I think it's difficult to focus on B2B and B2C side, both of them. But we still, definitely we are planning to have our own application for having our own services, yes. And especially, yeah, we are thinking about that is relative is more in home environment, in snoring analysis or baby and dog barking, and as well as for the application for the more hearing impaired people as well. So yeah, that's it.
네, 고맙습니다. 마지막으로 에릭킴님의
Thank you very
질문입니다.
much. And next, Eric.
Thank you for the presentation and the creativity. It seems like a really innovative technology, and I had a similar question to Jeffrey around what consumer application you would want to go to market with if you had the resources. But since you already asked that question, maybe I'd ask a slightly different question, which is, what do you think is the biggest challenge for you to overcome to grow quickly at this point? And how does capital solve that, or are there other things that you need to overcome to accelerate your growth at this stage?
So in our company, like really, actually the biggest challenge is still technical thing. I mean, of course, we are really like deep tech, core tech researchers, a group of researchers, but it's really, we are heading to really solving a big problem and trying to solve big problem. But you know, there are really endless number of sounds, and we believe that like understanding all different sounds together, and also in terms of research, removing all the dependency on the hardware and microphone is really important things. In order to do that, we really need huge amount of database, of course, and we really need to invest a lot on the technology itself. But still, at the same time, as a startup, we really need to study the industry as well. We need to create the revenue, and we need to prove ourselves in the market. So balancing between these two is kind of really challenging things in our startup. Yeah.
네, 고맙습니다. 그럼 세 번 질문 들었기 때문에 여기서 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 코클리어.ai였습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 고맙습니다. 네, 정말 놀라운 상상력이고요. 앞으로 꼭 실현 가능해졌으면 좋겠습니다. 꼭 투자 유치도 성공을 하셨으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 다음 기업도 이어서 소개해드리겠습니다. 어제도 저희 쇼케이스에서 음식 관련 스타트업 기업들이 정말 많이 소개가 됐는데요. 마찬가지로 음식 관련된 기업이네요. AI 기술 기반의 스마트 키친 구축을 통해서 1인 피자를 전 세계적으로 확장하고 있는 고피자입니다. 네, 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 안녕하세요. 네, 어서 오세요. 발표 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 발표 시작하겠습니다. Hi, I'm Jay, the CEO and founder of Go Pizza. Go Pizza is the McDonald's of pizza, where we serve personal-sized pizzas starting at $5 just in under 5 minutes. We aim to open 10,000 stores like this globally in 10 years, and we do this through our innovative pizza operations technology. Pizza is the most consumed food in the world with $150 billion market. And the world wants faster, more casual, more affordable pizza because pizza has become a daily diet even in countries like Korea, where pizzas are deemed too slow, too expensive, and too big. But then why wasn't there Go Pizza before? Because, you know, from the experience that I worked in a pizza shop, just making a pizza smaller is more than making pizza smaller. Making a Go Pizza means innovating every single aspect of a pizza operation. So we made everything from dough to ovens to topping tables to robots and innovated pizza operations from scratch. So this is how you normally make a pizza. You need the dough, you proof the dough, and you do the toppings, and cook it for around 8 minutes, and cut and serve, all done by a skilled crew. This entire process usually takes around 15 minutes, usually how much you would wait at a pizza shop. This is how we make Go Pizza. First, our special par-baked dough reduces dough prep time by 95% to under 5 seconds. After 3 years of R&D, we produce more than 300,000 par-baked doughs every month in our own factory. It's hands down the best quality and 50 to 100% cheaper than the current market options. Par-baked dough is then placed on a topping table that looks like this, where AI guides and tracks the accuracy of the toppings. Real-time AI engine developed in-house will train crews and where and how much to put the toppings and the exact sequence of the pizza toppings. As you can see, it's tracked real-time. Also, for experienced crews, we supervise and rank their performances real-time, while we can also deploy new menus globally just one click. We expect to roll this out next year at under 5K USD. When we do the toppings on a topping table, Goven, our special oven, cooks the pizza in under 3 minutes, more than 100 pizzas an hour. It's much smaller and cheaper than the current market options. And the pizza's coming out, as you can see. After that, the GoBot checks the quality, cuts the pizza, drizzles sauces, and keeps the pizza warm on top of the oven, so that the crew, as you can see, can focus on other operations rather than staying in front of the oven and wait for the pizza. And this GoBot is completely optional, only for high sales stores. We are testing in 10 of our stores, and the fully functional upgraded model is coming out early next year. We target less than $30,000 for this product. So you probably noticed that I mentioned price and timeline for all of our technologies, because we use many just to make simple pizza. Because we believe just focusing on technology or full automation is not realistic in F&B industry, as we've witnessed in the recent histories. We focus on one-man operation, assisted by tech, and also the price has to be affordable for the normal franchisees to adopt. We know this from experience because we already operate more than 120 stores in 5 different countries. We sold $10 million worth of pizza last year, but we're selling $20 million this year. Among the many food tech companies, we sell most food by a whole lot. We expect 300 stores with 60 million USD next year and 1,200 stores with 400 million USD in 5 years. We have a successful and proven franchise model with more than 90 happy franchisees, and among them, 20% already are willing to own more than 2 Go Pizza stores in 2022. In the future, actually very near future, as we speak, we're building one. We're planning to build and export what's called Go Pizza Capsule, with the successful business model of Go Pizza and technology capsulated inside. Well, just by looking at it, it's pretty self-explanatory. So imagine the scalability of these capsules beyond our current markets globally. We built a great team with more than 60 global F&B experts and an in-house tech division with AI and robot capabilities. And we are one of the most funded F&B startups in Korea. With this human and capital resources, we believe we will be the first and most successful global F&B company from South Korea. I started this business from one food truck, and I believe in the power of branding. It's not all about technology. It's not all about food. It's about food and tech combining as a brand. We have built a deep-rooted foundation of working products, technology, and a business model, all for great customer experience. And the customers are letting us grow 10x annual growth in global markets already. We're looking for partners to perfect our technology and to help us scale up globally all over the world. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 1시간에 100개의 피자가 구워진다니까 이제 피자를 기다릴 일이 없을 것
So you
같은데요.
can bake like
심사위원분들의
100
의견도
pizzas in 1
궁금합니다.
hour.
네,
I
먼저
think we don't have to
제이체님께
longer stand in
여쭤보겠습니다.
long lines.
Please
Jae-cho?
start, 제이체.
Can you hear me? I was going to say that I actually just got hungry because it's dinner time now. Great presentation. I'd love to really understand your market positioning. I have two questions. One is more of a practical question. Is how much of does form factor of your system play in your go-to-market strategy? Because it sounds like you're already out there franchising, and you've got a lot of customers that love your product. And so, one is like, what are the different modular options for the system? And then 2 is what's the price point and relative to the food is very competitive and is very undifferentiated at times. So branding is really key. So I'm curious how you think about positioning for the long term. So 2 questions.
Thank you for your question. So first is regarding our technology, how it's modeled for each and different franchise stores. So first, the par-baked dough that I mentioned is applied in all of our stores. So that's why we produce 300,000 doughs, and we're using it all up every month. Also, Goven, our special oven that cooks pizzas within 3 minutes, it's all applied in all of our stores globally. Smart topping table is coming out next year, and the GoBot is applied in 10 of our stores currently. So in the future, the smart topping table, the par-baked dough, and the Goven will be applied to all of our stores, but the GoBot will only be optional because it has to replace one human being's labor cost. So if the store is not that busy, there's no point of introducing robot to begin with. So robot will be optional. So I hope that answers the first question. And the second question was about price point, and I couldn't really catch which price point. Was it price for our franchisees or customers?
Customers.
So yeah, we serve the cheapest pizza in Korea actually, but it's good. So we start at 4.5 USD. So the cheapest pizza option in Korea is around $6. So we serve personal size pies under 5 minutes, under $5. So we have the price competitiveness, and that's all thanks to our pizza operations technology. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 다음은 제프리 리님의 의견도
Thank
들어보도록
you.
하겠습니다.
Let's move on to Jeffrey Lee.
Let me ask a quick question to give time for Eric. It's a great presentation. I remember reading about your company earlier in the news media early this year. What I noticed in your presentation, you saw 100 stores in Korea. So why did you decide to go international when you did? Is there a saturation point in Korea that you were avoiding, or what was the reason behind going global when you did?
Yeah, we believe as a number-wise, there's a saturation point in Korea. We limit that as 800 to 1,000. And a lot of F&B companies in Korea are capped by that saturation point. And pizza is a global food that's consumed the most in the world. So we only thought going global makes sense from day one. And I do have global background, so we started expanding to India and Singapore in 2020, and we already have 20 stores there, and they are very successful. So we believe our global vision will be a major part of our business, and we target 10,000 stores globally, and 1,000 will be in Korea, but 9,000 will be in global markets. So as a saturation point of view, and also in terms of a startup point of view, I think going global only makes sense for us.
네, 고맙습니다. 시간 관계상 저 여기까지 질문을
I think due to the time
질문도 받도록 하겠습니다.
difference, I will
에릭
get
킴님
one more question
부탁드리겠습니다.
from Eric Kim,
I'll just
and then we
ask
will
quickly.
end.
So if obviously you're going the brick and mortar route, did you ever consider a non-physical strategy, and why didn't you go that way?
Sorry, I couldn't get the question. I'm sorry.
So did you ever consider going with like a ghost kitchen type strategy or delivery model, something that wouldn't require such a retail oriented strategy, and why not?
So ghost kitchen strategy, right? That's why you mentioned, right?
Yeah, just curious.
Yeah, like delivery only models. Yeah, so we do have dine-in spaces because building a brand, it takes more than delivery customer experience. We believe in that, and because we have very innovative kitchen that makes the kitchen really small, all our retail space stores are under 500 square feet. So we still provide the dining experience within a small space. So we believe by innovating the kitchen space, we can only we don't have to only do delivery. We can do both dine-in and deliveries. And truly enough, from 2 weeks ago, in Korea, with Corona started, and the delivery sales are going down, and our dining sales are coming up. So we believe next year our strategy will hit the jackpot from next year onwards. Thank you.
네, 고맙습니다. 다시 한번 고피자에게 큰 박수 보내주시기 바랍니다. 네, 수고하셨습니다.
Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
presentation, Mr. Im Jae-won.
어제는 비슷하게 치킨이 1인 점포로 나왔었거든요. 그래서 저희가 스타트업 기업으로 소개를 드렸는데 오늘은 또 이렇게 피자를 기계가 만든다니까 정말 궁금합니다. 제가 잠시 발표하시는 동안 좀 매장이 몇 군데 있는지 찾아봤는데 벌써 강남을 비롯해서 많은 곳들에 매장이 있네요. 한번 이용해 봐야 되겠습니다. 네, 이제 다음 기업 소개해 드리겠습니다. 몰입감 있는 3D 시각적 경험을 제공하는 기업 모픽입니다. 큰 박수로 환영해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 네, 안녕하세요. 네, 발표 부탁드리겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 모픽의 권태입니다. 발표
Good
시작하겠습니다.
morning. I am from
Thank you
Mopic.
all for your time. I'll be introducing Mopic Company. My name is Andrew Kwan, Mopic's Head of Business Development. Mopic connects reality with other places, dimensions, and worlds while adding the sense of presence and spatial awareness. Mopic's three main products are connecting people with people in other places and other worlds. Mopic's enabling technologies are about two things. First, it provides sense of presence by showing images 3D volume corresponding to viewing positions. And second, it offers spatial awareness, making it possible for people to appreciate the 3D depth in addition to volume. They're made possible thanks to Mopic's 3D display technologies that control intensity and direction of light at sub-pixel level with both Mopic designed optical lens and software algorithms, therefore called light field 3D display. MOPIC's competitive strengths relative to 2D displays and competition are fourfold. First, high resolution. Second, best-in-class 3D image. Third, eye tracking capability, which serves as one of the key differentiators for 3D effect. Fourth, precision optical design for an optimal outcome. MOPIC stands out among the global leaders in light-field 3D display technologies, particularly with its openness toward building a platform and creating an ecosystem, as well as high-resolution images for optimal 3D effects. These differences result in structurally simple and low-cost solutions that can be easily customized with an emphasis on software as opposed to hardware compared to some of our competitors. Our use cases can be categorized into three. First, live action. Second, graphics. And third, smart signage. MOPIC is making progress across the board. For example, with Westfield Glorious in Spain in retail and advertising space, Daimler in automotive, Hyundai Heavy Industries in heavy industries, Selectrix in healthcare, and with Google in electronics and IT for their upcoming 3D video conferencing system materializing in 2022, for which MOPIC has developed its 3D display as ODM, ready for mass production starting in second half of 2022. MOPIC is creating markets via B2B, and according to market analysis, there are sizable opportunities. We're ambitious and plan to grow further by building a platform that would help us to expand into B2C. We expect B2C to blow exponentially and serve us to take a leap. The very platform MOPIC needs now is MOPIC Hub. Presently, a platform that connects hardware with content and users is lacking. Therefore, MOPIC is preparing for its future, where MOPIC Hub will serve as a platform for hardware, content, and users. This way, users will simply connect to MOPIC Hub to enjoy live-field 3D, regardless of devices and content, like we use right now, Windows for any PC. Toward the future where MOPIC Hub serves as a platform for hardware, content, and users, our first action plan entails pushing for compatibility among hardware, providing a platform to create content via apps and web, and offering a cloud-based management system that enables access anytime, anywhere. The second action plan is expanding markets, hinging on our B2B successes and continuously drawing inflows into MOPIC Hub ecosystem and increasing third-party participation by opening our hardware and software design. We envision display manufacturers and content creators would join us in co-building MOPIC Hub platform, as we would make our hardware design and software algorithms publicly available for free of charge. If we execute well, we forecast 2021 revenue more than double in 2022, then jumping exponentially to beyond $100 million in 2025. Funding needs are now for us to build the MOPIC Hub platform, recruit software engineers, and internalize key enablers such as content creation. We plan to release
네, 이제 시간이 마무리가 돼서요. 10초 내로 마무리 부탁드립니다.
next year and raise Series C funding with an aim to IPO in 2025. Capital allocation plans are exactly to achieve our objectives. With the investment, the key is to hire software engineers best fit for our culture and eager to make things happen with us, and internalize key enablers such as content creation and core hardware components. We look forward to your partnership. We have a capable, competent, and nimble team of 14 people from Samsung Electronics and GE, to name a few, and unified to achieve our objectives to become the global platform of choice for 3D. This wraps my presentation today. I'll be happy to take questions, please. Thanks again.
네, 고맙습니다. 네, 이제 질문으로 들어가겠습니다. 먼저
Now we will
Choi
have
여쭤보겠습니다.
questions. Please, Choi.
Question, thank you. What's the most immediate use case that you would focus on in the next 12 plus months?
It's a Google project that we have. Google CEO announced their 3D video conferencing system to be released next year. So that's the project that we've been focusing on for the past 2 years as well.
네네. 다음은 제프리리님 질문 부탁드립니다.
Yeah, your demo looked a lot like the Google demo because I watched the Google demo. Do you have an office and team in Silicon Valley or in China to help with your go-to-market plan right now?
Not right now, but we'll plan to open offices with expansion plans.
네, 감사합니다. 에릭킴님 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
Yeah, thanks. This is a fascinating presentation and very interesting technology. And my only encouragement, it's more of a recommendation, and is to try to find some consumer application that you can go directly towards. I know you have to develop the technology and try to find partners, but I think if you can also find some direct consumer application that'll accelerate your timeline and might be actually more attractive to funding sources, because generally I think you want to be in control as much as possible of your own destiny here. So maybe a question back to you in the time we have remaining is have you thought about going direct to consumer earlier, and what are your latest thinking about that?
Yeah, we agree. We think that to expand the market, we need to go B2C, and we're working with the likes of Microsoft and some of the other shopping malls and Korean or foreign to go B2C. And the first would be via retail and advertising space, and the second would be via gaming and entertainment. So we're actually working proactively to go to market in B2C.
네, 고맙습니다. 세 분 심사위원께서 따뜻한
Thank you
조언을
very
주셨습니다.
much.
다시
Our
한번
juries
높이
also
발표해 주신
gave
분께
heartwarming
응원의
and
박수를
encouraging remarks
부탁드리겠습니다.
as well.
고맙습니다.
Once again, please give them
수고하셨습니다.
another round of applause.
네, 11개의 스코어를 획득하셨다니 정말 대단하네요. 그리고 또 내년에 바로 구글과 또 여러 국내 굴지의 여러 대기업들과 함께 프로젝트를 계속해서 수행하고 계신다니까 제가 괜히 자랑스럽습니다. 네, 어느덧 이제 저희 로켓리그의 마지막 기업을 소개해드려야 될 시간이 됐네요. 저희가 중간중간에 알림 1간과 2간에서 또 브레이크 세션들이 진행이 되거든요. 그런 세션에도 많은 관심을 기울여 주시면 좋겠습니다. 자, 마지막 기업은 인공지능을 활용한 자율 비행 드론 솔루션을 개발 중인 니어스랩입니다. 바로 만나보시죠.
시작하겠습니다.
I'll begin my presentation.
NEARSLab is short for Near Earth Laboratory. We develop autonomous technology for industrial drones. The drone you see now is not controlled by a human pilot. It is flying autonomously. It detects the blade and maintains a certain distance to take pictures of the blade's front and back, up and down. Once it's finished its job on the first blade, it moves on to the other two to finish covering all three blades. This is possible because drones can see and think like us humans do. You may wonder why we are developing this. Because we want to solve the critical problem in the industrial inspection. We occasionally read news about the accidents on the industrial fields, and according to the Ministry of Employment and Labor, more than 110,000 people died or injured in 2020, and 1/3 of them were working at height. And that's because the routine inspections are still conducted by humans, and they can only rely on a tiny rope for their lives to get the work done. And it's not just dangerous, but also very expensive. It costs up to $100,000 just to get a special machinery like this. And due to the limited capacity, only one person can conduct an inspection at a time, which makes 10 days to complete the whole inspection. And further, what's worse is the quality of the data. Like, still, this kinds of data are all handwritten, and this is very far from 2021, where everyone is talking about digital transformations. So, these problems with the cost, safety, and quality, Nearest Lab is trying to solve by replacing the human aspects using the autonomous drones. And this is possible because the drones can identify and perceive and act as humans do. First, the drone can identify an object just as how we humans can see an object through our eyes. Then, the drone determines whether it's the target or not using the perception algorithm. Then, it identifies the relative distance from the blade and make the decision where to move or not using the guidance and navigation software. And finally, the drone takes its action with the help of the flight control software. Due to the technological excellence, we have made a great stride thus far. So we already made more than 60% of the wind turbine inspection of Korea, and we have more than 6 countries covered with the services, including Germany, United States, Australia, and Japan. And we already inspected more than 5 types of facilities. For a prime example, SoftBank has chosen Nearest Lab for the inspection service to inspect services to the Japanese power companies. And we are probably the first and only autonomous drone provider to Siemens, which is the largest wind turbine manufacturer in the world. Growth was another result of the strong technological foundation. We were a team founded by the engineers from KAIST, which is the MIT of Korea, and more than 2/3 of the crews are engineers, while more than half of them hold masters and PhDs. Due to the technological excellence, we were invited to speak at the respected NVIDIA GPU Technology Conference. And we are also backed by the prestigious VCs and global accelerators. But to make sure, we are not just looking at the industrial safety inspections. We will eventually build many other applications, such as UAMs, the flying taxis, or drones for defense, or deliveries, and more. And by leveraging our core technology on autonomous flight, Nearest Lab will become the Google Alphabet of the drone industry. Thank you very much.
네, 말씀 감사합니다.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's a very interesting topic. I'd like to hear from our juries. Mr. Choi.
Hi. In terms of it's interesting you talk about the use case of wind turbines, and I was just curious to understand, have you mapped out some of the other verticals around industrial inspections and some of the other industries that you can apply your technology towards, and what would those industries be as you start to build out more commercial traction?
Can you repeat the question again, please?
So I guess specifically, what are the possible industries that you can apply your technology to? Is it specific, obviously, to just wind turbines, or what are the other possible industries you can commercialize this towards?
Okay, shortly, what we have served on the moment is like wind turbines and bridges, dams, the kinds of like large-scale infrastructures that has to be inspected routinely, but it's really hard to approach by humans. But to talk about the technology behind, like we have a very strong technology on autonomous flight, especially for the last mile. So this can not only be limited to the inspections, but other applications such as like the delivery also have to make the last mile and final destinations. And that kind of the last mile stuff is the part which we are having strengths on as an autonomous flight software company.
네네. 산업 현장뿐만 아니라 다양한 곳에
So
활용할 수 있을 것 같은데요.
it seems
다음은
like it can be
제프리
applied to
님께
various
한번
industries
질문을
and also near the
요청드려보겠습니다.
consumers. Can we
네,
move on to
감사합니다.
Jeffrey? Then?
The drone that you have, is it a self-developed complete system, or did you use some third-party hardware and then you created a total solution?
So currently we are using a third-party hardware and we're adding on our AI computer and the camera payload to do the application autonomously. That is the current way we have running the services and leasing the drones. But we're also being ready to build our own hardware because to make the ultimate drone that fits into each industry, using the out-of-the-shelf is not really making a very good coverage. So we are also being ready to develop our own drone for each industry as well.
네네. 감사합니다. 마지막 질문은 에릭 킴님께서 해주시겠습니다.
Eric Kim,
Thank you.
please.
And just a slight correction. I think MIT is technically the KAIST of the U.S. And so, but in addition to that, you know, I'm not an expert in this field. What a lot of venture capitalists are looking for also is, you know, what motivates and why CEOs are passionate about their field. And I'm just curious, in the time we have remaining, you know, what motivates you to be an innovator in this space, and what drives you to push your entrepreneurial journey here?
Okay, so like me and my co-founder CTO has studied the autonomous flights and like aerospace in the graduate schools, and at that time, like drones were not that popular. And while a few years later, like Amazon and other big companies like started to be interested in using drones for their application, but still most of them were still interested in how to like move things or make it as a vehicle kind of stuff. So it's a smaller aircraft, not like a brand new concept as a drone. And we believe that drone is a very good item to acquire data very fast and accurately. And if we can get the new types of data with using drones, that will like definitely change the world with a very new kind of data we never seen. And I think this will be a revolution, just like what happened after the first satellites went out to the space. So basically, we're defining drone as a data acquiring tool, and to making a specific application for each industry and each application, I think we will revolutionize the way of working or way of like behaving on each aspect. So we think that drone can be a really great tool to help and revolutionize the world.
네, 감사합니다. 네, 다시 한번 큰 박수 보내주시기
Thank you
바랍니다.
very much, and please give him a big round of
잘
applause.
들었습니다.
Thank you very much.
네, 심사위원 세 분께도 저희 다시 한번 박수 보내주세요. 네, 오늘 아주 날카로운 질문들 그리고 많은 통찰력을 저희에게 주셨습니다. 네, 가깝다는 뜻의 니어와 지구를 뜻하는 얼스, 또 연구소를 뜻하는 레버터리에 조합한 기업 이름 정말 좋네요. 오래도록 기억에 남을 것 같아요. 앞으로도 자율주행 비행 드론 저희 실생활에서도 빨리 한번 만나봤으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 오늘 만나보신 6개 기업의 발표 어떠셨나요? 네, 전 세계 37개국에서 지금 700여 개가 넘는 스타트업과 경쟁에서 올라온 기업들이거든요. 그만큼 정말 혁신적이고 흥미로운 내용들이었습니다. 스타트업 쇼케이스는 마지막 날 내일까지 계속 진행이 되니까요. 앞으로도 많은 관심과 기대를 부탁드리겠습니다.